Trading is not only about trying to get rich, it is also about, hey guys, welcome to another weekly recap. Today's Saturday and I want you guys to go through the chart with me, see the trade that we took, the reason behind the trade, and the lessons that we learned this week. So if there's one thing that I want to say is that I've come to the realization trading is not only about trying to get rich, it is also about this particular aspect, which we're going to talk about in this video. Let's get it. So I'll take you guys to the chart, but before I take you guys to the chart, I actually took notes because I don't want to go back and forth. I traded Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday and Friday. Unfortunately, I did not trade on Thursday. I cannot even say trade on Friday as well, but the thing is, the trade that I took on Wednesday finally hit TP on Friday, so I can basically say that I traded on Friday, right? Now also I had about 8 trades or 7 trades altogether on these various days. There were days I took 2 trades, like on Monday I took 2 trades, on Tuesday as well I took 2 trades. Now the trades for Wednesday, I had 3. One hit TP and the other 2 hit TP on Friday. So together we are going to go to the chart and I'm going to share with you the plan that I had for the week. But mostly for the week I was planning to buy gold and Euro USD, and I was planning to sell BTC. However, we had let's say a counter trade, right? We had a counter trade where there were some sales in order to buy. So let's go to the chart and we are going to talk about that together, figure it out, and talk about the lessons learned. Okay, currently we are going to start with BTC, and you can see right here that BTC was actually planning to sell, right? There was this sell on BTC that I was looking forward to. Now, when I look at the daily, as I said, I was planning to sell BTC. If you go on the 4 hours, we are going to see that my strategy played out multiple times during this week. However, I just had these 2 trades. Now, I was planning to sell BTC from this point so that I was going to be able to buy where we are right now, because where BTC is right now is in an internal range fair value gap. So there's a probability that we are going to buy BTC up to this other internal range fair value gap at this point before we sell again. So that is it for BTC. For BTC, I took about 2 trades and both trades hit TP, which is a very good thing. Now let's drop down to gold, and gold was amazing to me as well. I think the only trade that took me, or that was a little bit difficult for me this week, was Euro USD. Not because it was hard, but because I made some mistakes. I did not pay attention as I usually will, so that was a little bit scrappy. So let's go to your gold. For gold, I was planning to buy. However, gold did not get to the point where I wanted it to get to, because if you look critically very well, here I wrote this is where I was waiting for gold, right? But this is the daily time frame. And I was expecting a sell at this first short-term target here, and my overall, a sell at this short-term target here, and my overall sell was, or my overall target was this point right here, which is approximately at $4,387. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame, and on the 4 hours time frame, you're going to see where I marked the first time. The first time I was waiting for price to come here, right? It gave me whatever confirmation I wanted to see, then it went straight to my buy. If we go to the 15-minute time frame, which is my entry time frame, because I trade the 4 hours and the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, you're going to see exactly that there was this beautiful sell. Now, I had a problem with this particular first trade. The reason that I had a problem, or the cause for the problem, was I was expecting a 1:2 and a 1:3, because I'm saying this multiple times already. For my strategy, I want to see a 1:2, I break even, then the rest can go to a 1:3. Now, price gave me a 1:2, I broke even, then price took me out at a 1:2, and it took me out at break even, which was cool. Now I had another entry, because if you look very well, I wrote somewhere here, there is a possibility to sell here, as well, if my first sell does not play out the way I want it to. And actually it played out, but not the way I wanted it to, so this sell is still very valid. But if you're looking at this sell so far, it has given a 1:4.8, and the whole target is a 1:7, which does not mean that I'm going to hold on to that level. As I say a lot of times, I am forward testing my strategy in an actual market. So what I'm basically doing is I am paper trading. So there is really nothing to worry about here. So if we continue on the next pair, we are going to look at Euro USD, which did me dirty this week because I took a loss on Euro USD, though I had a win as well, but there was a loss that I was not really finding so funny. Okay, looking at Euro USD, I was planning to buy. My first buy point was actually right here, but price did not give me what I wanted to see in that at that point. So what did market do? Price created another fair value gap somewhere here. We are going to mark that out together. Price created a new fair value gap here, and this is actually where the market started playing out. Now, for my strategy, I like to look at the time, right? And if you look at the time very well, the candlestick that gave my strategy was the 9 a.m. So there was a probability to buy after 9 a.m., which was going to be 1 p.m. And the market played out so well. And if we zoom in, you're going to see that this was my first target for my TP. And from here, I'm expecting the market to start selling. Probably it's going to sell before we have another buy. So that is basically it. And let's talk about the win rate for this week. Now, when it comes to the win rate, on Monday I took 2 trades. One trade hit TP, the other one hit stop loss. On Tuesday as well, it was 2 trades. One hit TP, the other one hit stop loss. And on Wednesday, the trade on gold, which gave me a break even and a stop loss. So it was 1 trade. On Thursday, there was basically no trade. So the trade that I took on Wednesday, Friday, the 2 trade hit TP. So both trades basically were in profit. So that is literally how my week went. And let's talk more. Let's talk a little bit more about why I say that trading is not only about getting rich. There is more to trading than just making the money. One of the things that we are going to notice with trading is that you're going to be more self-aware if you're a trader. The reason why I say that you're going to be more self-aware is that the chart is going to reveal a lot of things about yourself, especially when it comes to being greedy. There is a video I'm planning on making about the few things that were holding me back, and that is holding a lot of traders as well. I am working on it. I think I have done like 90% of the work, and I'm going to prove that to you guys moving forward next year. So when I say that it is not all about just making money, it is about the fact that it's going to show you how greedy you are. Sometimes we want to make money, and when we start making the money, we are not satisfied with the amount that we are making, and we want to make more. And one thing that the market is going to do is the moment you become greedy, it's going to take back what it gave you in the first place. So that is why I implemented a rule of 1:2 and 1:3 break even, so that I'm protecting my capital. The most important thing here as a trader is to learn how to protect your capital, because if you don't have capital, you will not be able to go back to the market. That is a very factual thing. The only reason why you're in the market is because you have capital. Without capital, you will stop trading. That is basically it. So another lesson or another thing that is more than just making the money is emotional regulation. It helps you to regulate your emotions. Let's take an example. You took a loss, right? Automatically, you're going to be very angry. You're going to be very sad. You're going to feel so down. And you cannot trade the market in a very dirty or negative emotion. If your emotions are not upright, or if your emotions are not in check, whatever, you are going to hit stop loss to stop loss to stop loss to stop loss until you self-regulate. And one of the best ways that I do self-regulate for me is that I always try to put my hand on my chest and remind myself that it is okay to make a mistake. What happened was just a mistake, and I try to learn from the mistakes, and I make sure that I don't repeat that same mistake anymore. But let's not forget that we are humans, and the probability of us doing something, it's a habit, right? It's a habit that was It's a habit that we have programmed ourselves with for a very long time, especially if you are not so familiar with money like that. When you are not so familiar with money and you start making some money, the probability of you knowing how to handle that money is very low. So yes, let's talk about the lessons that I learned. Number one lesson that I learned is you do not have to be greedy as a trader. Number two is that you don't have to trade all the time. That is one thing that happened this week to me. I didn't trade on Thursday. Basically, I just observed. I did not even look at the chart. You do not need to be in front of the chart every single day. The reason why you want to become a trader is because you want to be time free and financially free. So being time free doesn't mean that you have to be stuck to your chart all the time. Another beautiful lesson is you have to learn how to be patient. There is no other way around this aside from patience. What I did was I marked my zone and I left it. And I set, like, basically I set how do they call it, alarms on my phone. At the end of each session, my alarm is going to ring. So I want to come and see how the candlestick closed. I don't know if it makes sense. When my alarm rings, I know that that session is over. So the next thing that I have to do is I come to the chart. Is what I want to see there already? If it's not there, then I set the next alarm, because I must see a candlestick close on the 4 hours time frame before I take a trade. If I don't see what I want to see after a candlestick has closed, then that trade is not for me, basically. And most importantly, or the last lesson that I'm going to talk about here, is that you do not trade if you are not in the right space mentally. I said that already, and I'm saying that again. That is like the last lesson that I'm learning. You do not trade if you are not in the right space mentally, because your mental health is very crucial. With trading, you need to be mentally safe, satisfied with your emotions. Like, you need to be calm. That is the word. You need to be very, very calm. And if you're not calm, I'm very sorry, it's not going to be possible. So basically, that is how my week went. That is a lesson. I forgot a very crucial lesson. Always have two biases. This is what I mean. Your bias can be bullish or bearish. Always have those two biases in your mind. I think that helped me a lot. Or always look out for the chart to give you another possibility, because this is a game of probability, not certainty. You are not certain. You are just working with your probabilities. You are working with your data, right? And if the market can be bullish, you are seeing a bullish market, and the market just decides to do whatever it wants to do. You don't have a control on whatever the market is going to do. That is even the funniest thing. You do not have control over what the market has decided that it's going to do. The market is going to do what it's going to do. The only thing you are doing as a trader, those are the lessons that I learned for this week, and that is what I am sharing with you guys. I'm looking forward to see you guys in another video, maybe next week or maybe during the week. But however, I wish you guys an amazing Christmas in advance and a good new year to start. You do not start your new year. Personally, I'm not starting my new year in new year. My new year has already started. If you guys are waiting for 2026, I'm sorry, I'm not with you people. So that is basically it for this video, and I'm going to see you in another one. Bye.